English channel?
You also both of you family to stand. Yes, sir. Abhi? Okay. Shall I begin?
Take a deep breath.
One, two, three, action. Good morning to all the boys and girls of Sanvi and Dhruva. Welcome to our very first webinar. Today is an eventful day in the history of Sanvi and Dhruva. We are the very first and foremost college to go live, YouTube live streaming worldwide. And I'm extremely happy to welcome our esteemed guest, illustrious man, eminent speaker, Mr. Abhimanue Reddy. Before we move on, let me congratulate our chairman, Mr. J. Venkat Reddy sir, and our director and principal of Sanvi, Mrs. Monica Reddy ma'am, for organizing this webinar. So hearty congratulations to both of them. They are the pillars of this group of institutions to bring this webinar directly into your living room today. So let's congratulate and give a big round of applause to all the team of Sanvi and Dhruva for making this eventful thing happen. Before I introduce you to the speaker, let me introduce a few of his illustrations to you. Mr. Abhimanue Reddy, a very proactive and flamboyant person by nature, with 2 decades of experience as a transitions and training manager with many multinational companies, including Swiss Bank. A strategist and a planner by profession and a motivational speaker by passion. He has played a pivotal role in shaping the young minds of Sanvi Group of institutions since its inception. So let's welcome Mr. Abhimanue Reddy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Such a joy being here, and I'm extremely excited about the prospect of. Yeah, sorry.
No.
That is okay.
Because you can in your basic introduction. G.
In local terms, we are chuddy buddies kind of thing, right? We go back a long way as such, but yeah, you want to say something here, Cody?
Good morning, all the students. This seminar is a sentiment kind of thing for me. Every year since 2009, we are following the same thing. Mr. Abhimanue Reddy, my friend, my mentor, my trainer. He was a trainer in GE. We both worked together in GE for more than 4 years. Since then, sentiment kind of thing for me. So every seminar will start with Abhimanue Reddy sir in Sanvi Group of Institutions. Thank you, Abhi. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation in this COVID time also. Thank you. So, this is all yours, students, all yours.
Thank you so much. As I was saying, such a joy being here. I personally think it's a privilege. And ma'am, thanks for the lovely introduction. Now, sometimes when you hear introductions like that, you tend to be floating on cloud 7, 8, 9. But then when you look back at your life, reality also begins to dawn upon you. Have been addressing your seniors, especially on this very super favorite topic called the time management. Very exciting about how you invest your time, where you invest and how you invest and things like that. Very, very exciting. But ये साल जो गया है, the year 2020, people will term it as the worst year ever. Some may talk about it as, hey, you know what, we could spend time with family, so it's a great year. Businessmen talk about it as a year of digging deep, investments going bad, things like that. But hey, you know what? Let's face it. Let me put these questions up front. How are you doing? All the young men out there and a lot of young ladies out there, first things first, how are you doing? Are you well? Are you in a good space of mind right now? Okay, you may not be taking my question a little seriously, so let me dwell a little deep in there. I'm very concertedly going to focus the next couple of minutes on your well-being. Are you okay right now? Did the 2020 take a toll on you? Was the pressure so much and your concerns for future so critically consuming you that you began to degrade in health? Is that you? Maybe it's time for you to get some help. Have you gone through abuse? Have you gone through insults? Have you gone through ups and downs beyond your bearing, and you are just putting up a facade out there for the others to see you and be able to accept you? Then maybe it's okay for you to get a little bit of help. Reach out to somebody. Could be your loved ones, could be somebody you trust, could be some of your faculty here. I don't know. All that said, I need you to reach out to somebody and get the help that you need. Because this year came as a surprise. We didn't sign up for it, nevertheless we have come through it. It's behind us. The worst has gone behind us. I was reading an illustrated article just a few days back about how India somehow skipped the so-called second wave. 14th of September, we were about 96,000 cases all across the country, and this week we are running the 20K thing. The pandemic is on its way down. And hear me closely. In a couple of months, the pandemic has to go through the Indian summer. It may not last. It's on its way out. There is hope. And we are alive and well. So thank God for it. Let me move on. I'm quite amazed at the topic that has been chosen, for me to talk about. And when I look back, I get filled with amazing ideas and lots of energy about how an individual could actually plan your dreams. This is nothing new. We have been through this time in and time out. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये पहली बार हो रहा है, नहीं. There was a time when ladies wore those Victorian skirts and long dresses, and the world was at peace, and people were in camaraderie with each other, and the big nations were making merry of the small nations. All was going well when the Second World War hit. And when it hit, all the men went off to war and died. Economies toppled overnight. Countries were drowning in debt and fear. And you know who had to take up the rent? The ladies. So addressing all the Sanvians right now. I'm going to come back to Dhruvas a little later, but let me address the Sanvians right now. All the young ladies out there. There was a time when women stood up and took the test of time. The length of the skirts came a little down because they had to take up work. They became secretaries, they became administrators, and they took the challenge head on. When epidemics hit every now and then, it was the women who rose up to the challenge. When the men go out to work, they have to anchor homes. They did it. You too will come out of it. Just hold steadfast to what you believe. Right? As time moved on, challenges kept coming one after the other. If it was not for economic turmoil, if it was to do with unemployment, if it was to do with jobless youth running around. But today things are a lot better. We have just been through a major health scare that lasted many, many months more beyond our comfort. If you thought that your dreams were getting shattered, well, guess what? It's okay for you to just sit back and relax and understand the times that we are living in. It's all right. Did you get a chance to hang out with your family? Good for you. Good for you. Did you get a chance to know your friends a little more? Great. Did relationships break? Well, at least you are better off now. Did you go through abuse and pain? Well, guess what? You won't do it the second time. Have you learned something new? Have you upskilled yourselves? Good for you. It will come in handy. Did you not do anything? It's fine. It's not too late to get started. I'm going to move on from there. The year 2020 is almost behind us. Learnings apart, the fear factor apart, the hopelessness apart, we are going to keep our eyes on 2021. Right? I'm going to move on from there. If you have a dream, I need you to give it a thought right now. I'm going to address those Sanvians and those Dhruvas who have a dream that is being nurtured in your heart. I don't know what your dream is. I have no idea. Nor will I ever know. It's your dream. It's for you to safeguard it. Let me stress upon a pointer there. This is something very, very close to my heart, and I firmly believe it. and I am joined, or rather I fall in line with hundreds and thousands of scholars and scientists out there who believe in this little factional thing called individual strengths. Every single Dhruva out there, every single Sandhyan out there, you are blessed with a unique set of skills and your own personal individual strengths. Nobody else has it. It's your deadly combination alone. What do I mean by that? There may be those of you who may be feeling insignificant. You may walk into your circle of friends. दोस्तों के बीच में जब आप बैठते हैं, जब बातचीत होती है, you may feel very low in your esteem. I don't know. I cannot kind of fully grasp it. Maybe because I'm an extroverted person, and there are 20% of people like that. But for the rest of you who feel a little insignificant, I need you to grasp this: that you have your own individual personal strengths. They are yours. That means that's an area that you're good at. Do you know what that strength is? Did you come to terms with it? Did you realize that whenever you're doing that bit, you enjoy it? There's a bubbling joy inside. It may not be the curriculum that you're in right now. It may not be something that you're into right now, but you do realize that there is something that you're very good at. I want you, if you haven't done so already, to identify what your strength is. Let me illustrate. There may be those of you, some of you, who are extremely good at analytics. You might be good with numbers. You look at a sheet of paper and you're like, that's it, these are the trends, this is what's emerging, these are the numbers, this is the forecast, this is what's been happening, and this is what may come to be in the future. And there are others, when you look at a sheet of numbers, you're like, "Ye kya to bhi hai yaar? What are these numbers? What have I got to do? I'm like that, I can't stand maths." There are those of you who look at a literary piece, you look at a long, big, fat book with black and white, and you go through, you enjoy reading it. You are good in understanding it, you are good in grasping the concept, and you understand and see through it end to end. There are those of you who are good in administering. There are those of you who love working behind the scenes. There are those of you who come before everybody and become the face of any event or any program. Every individual out there, every Dhruva, every Sandhyan has your own individual unique strengths. Some of you are good in businesses, some of you are good in planning, some of you are good in strategizing, some of you are good in managing things, some of you are good in leadership, some of you are extremely good workers. What is your individual strength? It's extremely important for you to grasp it. Till the time you grapple with it, trust me, you will be beating against the goats, and the life continues to remain on that rough patch. Now, let me illustrate that a little more. Now, imagine the subject that you really enjoy. Imagine the strength that is being harnessed inside you. I want you to invest the next few years of your life harnessing that strength. I want you to do research. If you have a dream of pursuing a business, gather all the research that you can. It's important to do it now so that by the end of these couple of years, you are better at it than before. Do not waste this precious time. It's extremely important that you come to terms with it. At the same time, if you are not good at something, I wouldn't know how else to illustrate this, but let me speak from my own life. When I grew up, when your directors here, when some of your senior faculty here, when we grew up, we were told that if a girl was poor in mathematics, he was considered a modu, a dull boy. I was a modu. For the life of me, I can't stand maths. That was never my strength. But give me a big, fat book filled with laws and policies and guidelines, I will rip through it in a couple of hours. I will grasp it, I'll be able to code it, I'll be able to draft out a letter out of it, I'll be able to send you a notice. That's my strength. My grandfather saw it through, he prophesied over me many, many years ago, saying, I think this boy should pursue advocacy. I never listened to him. Yet here I am, 38 years of life, and I did pursue my advocacy. I studied law, and I did well. And I did well in it. I enjoyed it. People come to me for legal counsel and advice. I enjoy it. It's something I enjoy doing. Have you figured out what is that you enjoy? It could be something that your folks might tell you, saying, "Yaar, time waste mat kar. क्या कर रही है तू? You keep hanging out with those silly, stupid, fashionable things, but nobody cares about that anymore. Well, if it's your dream, you have to protect it. You have to envelope it. You have to keep it close to your heart and continue to build upon it. As I move towards the closure of this talk, let me illustrate this from the lives of two individuals that I met. There was this young man I had met many years ago. He had a dream. His dream was to build an establishment where he wasn't the one depending upon others, but he wanted others to be able to get supported through him. An establishment where education could be provided. And he proposed the idea. The idea was big, it was gigantic, and it required a lot of investment, it required monies, it required support, it required intellect, but nothing stopped him from pursuing it. When he approached people with that idea, they laughed at him. They said, come on man, leave it to the big guys, it's not meant for small time people like you. He held on to that. He approached his loved ones, he approached the investors, he had a roadmap and a strategy and everything lined up as he had envisioned it. He held on to it, he pursued it, one step at a time, one day at a time, insult after insult, obstacle after obstacle, he kept pursuing it. I'm not speaking of somebody far away, I'm speaking about your managing director, Mr. Reddy. I remember the times when we used to be colleagues in an outsourced multinational company here, and we sat through, and as he was sharing his dream, I remember the times when he was just another guy. He had a dream and he held on to it. And every insult and every obstacle and every stone that was thrown at him and every backbite that took behind him and every murmuring that only nudged him forward. With every push of such negative feedback, he kept driving himself forward. And then he met a young lady. She had dreams, and thankfully their dreams were aligned. She wanted to pursue medicine. She wanted to become a medical doctor. And she pursued it with all her heart. That was a dream. She wanted to be a doctor. That was a dream, and she pursued it. But as fate would have it, it just somehow never came to being. That did not deter her from pursuing it. She held on to it. And again, thank God, she found a partner who was going to encourage her. Now, she kept encouraging him, he kept encouraging her, and I'm referring to Dr. Monica Reddy today. Oh, you heard me right. She is a doctor today, having pursued her postgraduate diploma, even as she studied and pursued a doctorate. Not many get to do that. It takes a lot of time of burning midnight oil to pursue it. If you harness your dream, if you hold on to it close to your heart, you will be able to nurture it to become a fulfillment. Brothers, sisters, I appeal to every single one of you out there. Your folks have taken time out and put you in an educational institution. You are a part of this establishment. But unlike any of your peers before this, you do not have the privilege of mingling with others. You are piggybacking on the social media, an extremely vulnerable platform. These are dangerous times that we are living in. Unless you take caution, unless you tread carefully, it's easy for you to slip away and fall away and fade away into insignificance. Do not let that happen to you. Hold on to what you believe in. These guys didn't have to call me here today. They have a curriculum to finish. They have subjects and theses and programs to get through with so that they could finish the curriculum here. But they took time out because the organization as such, this educational institution of the Sanvi and Dhruva, believes in the personal individual development of the Dhruvas and the Sanvians. There's an investment, a time has been taken out for individuals to grapple with subjects beyond the curriculum, to be able to come out with it strong, to be able to come out as better individuals with stronger characteristic traits. Is that you? Fall back on the first question I asked you. How are you doing today? Do you need help? Seek help. Don't wait for Christmas. Knock on the door of somebody you trust. Seek help. Do you have a dream? Plan about it. It won't just come like a cloud and pop over your head and stars and glitter and fraternity fall all over you. No, it won't. You need to work towards it. You need to burn midnight oil. You need to knock and seek and ask, and then you will get the answers. Are you facing obstacles? Do you have people murmuring behind you? Do you have backbiters? Do you have people laughing at you? Good for you! Congratulations, you're on the right track. If they're laughing at you, that's all the momentum that you need. Hope that folks makes sense. Thank you so much. It's been such a joy spending this time with you. I wanted to keep this talk very, very brief. I wanted to go through whatever I've shared with you. Hyderabad mein purana kahawat hai ek, eat the chicken, leave the bones. Now, much of what I made may not make sense to you, but there may be one or two or three things that may have stood out for you. I need you to take them out. I need you to hold on to it dear, and keep going over it in your mind. देखते ही देखते time तो निकल जाएगा. 2020 will be history, and it will be 2, 3, 5 years from now when we'll talk about, yeah, 2020 बहुत खराब साल. But would you be somebody who will look back at this year as the year that just went by and all your dreams were looking to be shattered? Or would you be somebody, when you look back, you say, 2020 was the year when I decided to be a different person, a better individual, a better student, a better graduate, somebody who took the founding steps, the initial steps towards where I am going to go in my life, towards how I pursue the dream that's closest to my heart. Thank you. I think I'm out of the framework. That's about 28 minutes, yeah.
Right. All of you must have heard what Mr. Abhimanue Reddy sir just spoke about making your dreams a reality. Right? All of you should nurture and nourish your dreams to make it a reality. Don't leave them in your sleep. Make them come out of your sleep. When you dream it for truth. So thank you, Mr. Abhimanue Reddy, for giving us an enthralling session. I'm sure most of our students would be inspired today to make a goal and see that it comes true. Thank you once again, sir, and thank you, our chairman, sir, and our principal, ma'am. I request our chairman, sir, to speak a few words in praise of Mr. Abhimanue Reddy. Over to Mr. Venkat Reddy.
Thank you, Abhi. Thank you for your wonderful words. Thanks.
Welcome, and today as
Students, remember, dream big and work for that one, and definitely within no time you'll achieve your dreams. Always, I request all the students, dream big and work accordingly. Definitely you'll succeed in life. Thank you, Abhi. Thanks a lot for coming here and say something to the students.
Dr. Monica.
Yeah, Dr. Monica Reddy here, the Director and Principal of Sanvi Degree College for Women. Thank you guys, thank you all for watching this live webinar today. So it was successfully done. I thank Abhimanue sir.
Congratulations to you guys.
Yeah, Abhimanue sir for making this happen actually. So I think our students have learned something out of this session. So planning and dreaming is, everyone can dream. Can sleep and dream. Dreams are quite common, but making this happen into reality is what we have to do. So think about it, think about this session and do the planning accordingly and make your dream come true. Thank you all. Thank you once again. Thank you everyone.